Happy Monday. We're back. The opening kick is live and in charge. We're a few minutes late because not all of us are good with telling time sometimes. But we're here. My man Smoke with me. Smoke, how you doing, brother?
I am doing outstanding. Had a short video of my guy Carl Reed, Brandon Clay, and Kerry Davis. Went kind of viral. About 2 million people told me I was an idiot for calling Patrick Mahomes the greatest quarterback, clutch quarterback in NFL history. And all he is 11 for 11 in comeback situation. Everybody else is under 50%. But, hey, listen, what do I know? I'm just going to put my hat on, put my smoke shirt on, tell everybody that want to have an argument with me, just follow me on social, Coach GV Dixon. Follow me, I'll follow you back so we can continue this conversation. But if you want all that smoke, you're better in here. Petty.
More importantly, when one of those go viral, they need to point it back to our show, because I was getting people like, hey, did Smoke say this on your show? And I had to look at the video. I was like, oh, yeah, that came directly from the opening kick. I was like, man, they need to point us out on there.
Well, listen, I got one better for you, all right? And everybody's going to tell me that I'm an idiot. The best defensive tackle ever in NFL history, Chris Jones.
You think he's the best ever?
He's the best defensive tackle in NFL history, and he's the best closer on defense in NFL history. Go check that out. Just watch what he did in Super Bowls, championship games, in clutch situations like the tush push. Everybody gets a yard, except Josh.
Not when that dude, but not with him in the middle.
Once you see that tear coming down, and he throws that coat off on defense, the capers come off, and it's time to go to work. Man, Chris Jones. But if anybody want to argue with me, like I said, we can have that conversation. But
best defensive lineman, I'd have to think about
best defensive tackle ever in NFL history. If you want to argue Aaron Donald, go right ahead. But everybody else gets measured in clutch situations. Quarterbacks do. NBA players do. Baseball players do. Let's do defensive players. When have you ever seen Chris Jones in a closeout moment that he's failed? Well,
Warren Sapp is the only name I'm trying. Is the only one I can even. But dude, he changes games, man. He absolutely wrecks offenses.
He closes out games. Forget the first 3 quarters. Yeah, fourth quarter, overtime, clutch moments. Go check Chris Jones out.
Well, you talk about closing out games, man. That's what you were talking about Mahomes and catching crap. I don't think you can catch crap anymore. The numbers kind of back up. He's not just the best comeback quarterback. He's probably the best quarterback to ever play the game right now, and he's doing it right now. But people want to hate on greatness these days for some reason. But
well, the only thing is, all that young man's ever done is just like LeBron. He shows up in the playoffs, and whenever you talk about playoffs, he's there, and his team is there. So it's either championship, Super Bowl, or every now and then he's off, maybe one time. Bruce Smith or Reggie White. Okay, cool, Andy.
They're in the column.
Bruce Smith had a chance to knock the ball out of Jeff Hostetler's hands in the end zone, recover that, cause that that fumble. You get a touchdown. The Buffalo Bills win the Super Bowl. It ain't happened. Don't know if Reggie White closed out the Super Bowl. Chris Jones.
He didn't get the chances, but White was the man. The Minister of Defense was pretty salty, buddy.
Listen, Reggie White is the best defensive end of all time.
Yeah, you said tackle.
I said
Sapp was the one Sapp is the only one that I can come to mind that I might want to throw in. But
go ahead. That's a great argument. Sapp and Aaron Donald. Everybody's going to throw those guys in. But all I know is in big time situations, Aaron showed up once. You saw it in the Super Bowl. We saw that one time. Yeah, Chris Jones shows up religiously.
When you talk about closer, what makes a great quarterback is when you got to extend a drive to finish a game, to not give that team that has Josh Allen another chance on 3rd and 6. You make that play, and he does it every freaking time. He makes the play, extends the drive, ball game's over. You don't even get a chance to come back and beat him.
Petty, here's what I always look at when I'm talking about generational and the best of all time. They changed the overtime rule because of Patrick Mahomes, not because of Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Patrick Mahomes.
That's right.
They said, if you give this guy the ball first, game's over. We have to give the other guys an opportunity.
Not fair.
When you change the game, the rules of the game, that means you have moved the goalpost. But hey, listen, again, what do we know?
What do we know? I don't know. Let's find out. We got an action-packed show for you tonight. That was a hell of a little roundabout intro. But, man, we are happy to be with you on this Monday. We're going to talk a little bit of Bama hoops, man. Bama's rolling, but kind of had a little bit of drama Saturday with, the star player having to sit on the bench in the second half. We got that to talk about. NFL Coaching Carousel. We got the championship. We got some crazy coaching changes going on at Ohio State. But before you do that, hit that like and subscribe. If you're on Twitter, YouTube, or Twitter, come on over to YouTube. Go to the Bama Standard. Hit like and subscribe. That way you get the alert for all the awesome shows that are going to be on this network throughout the week. And before we get going and talking about all that great stuff and Smoke giving those one-liners that just go viral, let's give a little bit of love to the people that keep the lights on here at the Bama Standard and the Opening Kick. And that's one Lamstone company. Check them out at realrockstone.com. Have you ever dreamed of having beautiful natural stone in or around your home? Well, don't settle for subpar materials. Check out Lamstone Company's selection of natural stone products to meet all your project needs. Lamstone is located in beautiful Anion, Alabama, and is one of the oldest, most trusted sources in the state. So tell them we sent you by contacting them today with the promo code TheBamaStandard and get 10% off your purchase. Can't beat that. We love you, Lamstone. With that said, man, Lamstone goes hard with the natural stone. We're about to go hard with some takes. Going hard in the paint like my show on Thursday, man. So look, Alabama took the loss to Ole Miss. Everybody freaked out when everybody tried to tell you you're going to lose some games in SEC basketball. It's just weird. But then Bama answered. You took care of business at Rupp Arena in Kentucky, smoked Vanderbilt at home. But, man, come back, LSU. Got them Saturday. And, look, man, at halftime, we're tied with a team that you're 17.5-point favorite. You pull away. But the big news from the day was Mark Sears getting benched in the second half. And it's kind of was Oats sending a message that nobody's bigger than the team. Anybody's in the slump can take a back seat. Was this a good move, Smoke? Well, you had you had some takes on this weekend. So I'm ready for you to go.
I would, if you can grab your phone and say exactly what I text, that'll be fine. But I'll give it to you like I said. I said every coach that calls himself a head coach should take notes from what Nate Oats did. And that wasn't a punishment. He didn't make it an issue. He didn't want any attention drawn away from the team other than send a message of do as I say, not as you want to do. And if you can't fall in line with what we're doing as a team, man, go sit right on over here on the bench and enjoy the view from the bench. And the good thing with that young man, I didn't see him pout, make any type of scene because of the foundation that Coach Oats has laid down. Now, I wish every Bama coach would just look there and just take a little bit of note from old Coach Nate and say, you know what? That's how we should handle our superstars. Because if you can make your superstar understand that he's not bigger than the team, you have a real shot of winning it all. And that's what Coach Oats did. Man, shout out to him. He ain't like everybody else, but he's a real coach.
No, a couple of things I want to take away from it. A, Mark Sears is a leader in the team because I think you'll see him respond the right way. There's been times where he was in slumps last year, maybe it was this year, where he told Coach, hey, I'm not the guy tonight. Give it to Nelson. Give it to whoever the hot hand is. And that's what a leader does. I expect him to respond like a leader. But, man, I can't help. Sorry, Smoke. I'm going to have to do it. But it's kind of ironic given the football season this year. And there were so many people that thought a coach should bench a certain individual that might have been struggling. And they're like, no. And then but you had fights. You had people say you can't bench him. There's no one. But then here we get to basketball season, and the coach benches pretty much the starting quarterback, your point guard, your star.
Okay, so here's where I'm going to draw the line, and I'm going to say what you just said, the key word was that struggle. I don't think struggling, say, go sit down.
Yeah. Right?
I think when you purposely disrespect or not care what it is to be a team player, yeah, that's when you got to go sit down. All athletes are going to struggle. Mm-hmm. And if all athletes get benched when they struggle, yeah, the coach needs to remove themselves because that's your job to help that athlete get through that point. But if you aren't doing what is in the playbook of what we're telling you to do or just blatantly disobeying what we're talking about, yeah, it's time for you to sit down because you're telling us now you're bigger than the team. And on the football side, we saw that every week, all the time, kicking balls, throwing helmets. I mean, we're not going to stay on that, but that I mean, everybody knows what point that was.
I think the overall point that you're trying to make is Nate kind of sent a message to the rest of the coaches at Alabama. This is how an alpha. I mean, this is what a leader does. This is how a leader does it, and we'll see. There
was a guy that I think we all can walk away and say probably the greatest college football coach of all time. Sat down a quarterback that did not lose a football game to allow, and it's just you looking at your team and being the heartbeat of your team and understand that you are the guy. When they say the University of Alabama football, there's one guy that stands out in front that's going to take all the bullets, and that's the head coach. So if you're going to take all the bullets and all the gunfire and all the strays, you have to be able to say, you know what? Irregardless of what that person thinks, he's not bigger than the rest of the guys behind me. So fall in line with the rest of us. And I don't think it's something that he's a poor head coach. It's just a learning experience that hopefully he gets past this and understand that it's a big-time program, first rounders, maybe first overall pick, but the first overall pick or first-round pick or your starting quarterback must fall in line in order for the rest to do the same. Because if he gets out of line and he's allowed to be out of line, yeah, everybody else is going to be out of line too.
Absolutely. And look, that's the best example of all time. Saban benched a guy that's about to start in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks, and it was the right call at the time. The guy wasn't, look, love, hate, he wasn't getting it done. He went with the guy to get it done, and that's what.
And can I give you a little tidbit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Coach Saban was the final word on it. Mike Locksley got it done. Keep going.
There's a note for you, folks. That's behind the scenes with Smoke. Yeah, man, and look, the greatest coaches have done it. Spurrier did it all the time if a guy wasn't getting it done. He had no problem pulling a quarterback. He pulled Terry Dean when Terry Dean was up for the Heisman because he threw 4 picks against Florida, and then you saw the legend of Danny Werfel be born. So, I mean, yeah, we saw it here with Hurts and Tua. But, yeah, it was a big deal. Oats is sending a message, but Oats's message is nobody's bigger than the team. I think Oats' rise in the ranks has got to be one of the best coaches in college basketball. He's got the most exciting offense in college basketball, and he's doing it. And most of the time, you think, well, he's just a coach. No, man, he's a disciplinarian. He gets on asses, and he's all around, man. Oats gets every bit of it, and it's not when I hate to do this because the big dance is such a crapshoot. But I'm honest, man. As long as if he's at Alabama, as long as he stays at Alabama. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
When. Petty, you know what? We got a few questions here, man. I think the audience.
What we got coming up?
Yeah, we got a couple.
Okay, let's pull them up, man.
Let's get to them.
Okay. Nick Harden, do you think Proctor will move over to guard?
When he gets into the NFL. I don't think that. I don't know if they have it in them in terms of the coaching staff, or if they have someone that's better at tackle to play Proctor at guard. But I would say he's going to move when he gets to the NFL. Don't think it's going to happen at Bama. Good question, though, Nick.
Plow Jogger 1776. I feel like that's a fans only type name. I just said out loud. Plow Jogger. Why did it take so long?
Always in something sick, bro. Clear it up, man.
Dude, I was at Alabama for 8 years, man. My brain got broke. Why did it take so long for Alabama to have a Heisman winner? We've always been team first. Well, you kind of answered it with the first one, but I'll let Smoke answer this. And I'll give my take.
Well, Bama never fed the dynamic player enough for that to happen. Even with David Palmer, it was more of a right with Pop. Pop was more. It was a defensive group that David was the catapult on offense. And also on special teams. But he didn't put up the gaudy numbers that you wanted at that time. And then even with Sean Alexander, Sean did awesome, but we failed him as a team by losing to La Tech. And again, the numbers and the push was behind them. It wasn't like what Coach Saban in the new era of Alabama did was push players ahead and push them into the limelight, create videos, just create a media push behind them and publicity to get their names out there because if we don't understand, it's hard to win the Heisman if you don't have the right people behind you, pushing you and marketing you the proper way. And I think we weren't doing it properly at Bama at that time. But now, man, it's full blown because Bama's a big time corporation. It's a big time deal in the world. At one point, it was big time football, but we were considered just in the South.
Yeah, and man, and people forget football was a lot different than Bama was much more of a rugged run, play defense type, and that's a lot of the SEC. The SEC, it used to be the Big Ten that had the Desmond Howards, all the big time players that put up big numbers. It's odd that the Big Ten's now seen as the smash mouth and SEC's the athlete running gun. But at that time,
media market too.
And like you said, the best example is David Palmer. David Palmer was born in the wrong era. If you put David Palmer in offenses today, he is a Heisman winner. But they would bring David in just to run a 2-point conversion. Everybody knew he was going to get the ball from running back and he'd still score. But they do that one time a game or 2 times a game. They didn't use him. They used him when they had to, not just to run it up and down the field. Still, though, I don't think Saban went to it wasn't a me thing under Saban. I think Bama just got so damn good, and and media is so weird about this. I think they started looking around and saying, wait, the greatest program in college football doesn't have a Heisman winner. It's about time. Because I'll be honest, the guy who won it first wasn't I think he cost Richardson winning the next year because I think Richardson put up better numbers and was actually a better college back. But I think Ingram got it because they were ready to give it to a Bama player, and he was the cornerstone on that.
Now Ingram did the daggone thing. I ain't gonna take it from Lewis.
No, Ingram's great. I don't want it, and I didn't say that's gonna be. I don't want that to be a knock on Ingram because Ingram was great, but I do think Richardson was a better college back, and I don't think I didn't think they wanted to give it to Bama 2 years in a row when Richardson put up better numbers.
Well, if you look at it, it's going to be also clutch moments, game, situation, and all of that just lined up perfectly for Mark.
Yeah,
and he took advantage of it.
So Mark was great, man.
The cookie crumbles different ways, but
it does. And the Heisman's and that's the thing. I'm trying to point out that the Heisman's not really a best play. It's a marketing campaign now. It has been since the 90s. It's long since been about the best player in football, which they finally did get it right this year. I'm going to give it to them. We got it right this year. Herb and Raj, would you bench Herb to bring in Raj? Abso-freaking-lutely, man. That Raj guy, he's a dynamite. Herb and Raj that were on with us Monday.
Yeah.
Raj is like that silent assassin, man.
You can't you can't bench somebody that's a part of the team and like the glue. You can't get rid of that. You got to keep that.
Herb, you just got called the glue. He might. You just made his day. His head just daggum.
He's a glue. You can't bench the glue. It's a good partnership, and sometimes it's like eating peanut butter without jelly. All right, it's not really a sandwich. It's just something to do. You got to have both to make sure it works, and you got to put the peanut butter on both sides of the bread. All right.
I knew this would be the crap, Herb, that someone would take from my comment. DP. Okay, you think I hate him? In the SEC championship, he was 5 to all-purpose yards away from getting tattooed on the bottom of my foot, and my wife can back that up. I said if he gets, I think it was like 200 total all-purpose yards and 3 touchdowns, I get Mark Ingram for Heisman tattooed on my foot, and it was 10 yards for me headed to the tattoo parlor.
Damn, you say some bold stuff, man. Just say, hey, man, he's having a good day. You don't got to ink another man's name on you.
Dude, you put some bourbon in me, and a lot of crazy shit comes out of my mouth. Smoke.
Well, here's the next craziest thing. We want more AC Carter. That's not crazy. Listen, the world wants more Deuce. But you know what else the world wants? The world wants us to get to these NFL.
Talk about the NFL. That is the world wants to know what's going on. Pete Carroll headed to Oakland. Is that NFL Coaching Carousel? This is your baby. What's it? Dallas Raiders?
Was Pete Carroll born during the Great Depression? Hey man, listen. I think Pete Carroll is a great coach. I think he'll do an outstanding job in Vegas. But I don't think he's going to do anything without an NFL starting quarterback, in a franchise level quarterback, at least a top 10 quarterback to get into the conversation of not getting fired in 3 years. The days of playing great defense and running the football, good luck. Because in that division alone, you have a young Bo Nix, You got a Justin Herbert, and we have Patrick. So you tell me. I don't care how much you want to take your shirt off, Pete. That ain't gonna give you no wins, and that'll get you straight up out of Oakland real quick, and that'll be your fourth team that you coach. You'll find another one. Who we got up next? Who's the next coach?
Man, it's such a daggum retread. All right, your list. What's going on in Dallas?
Really, Marty, son. Like, I think, and no knock on Schotty. And I think I think a solid OC. But we all have to understand what Dallas is. Dallas is America's team. Dallas is the football NFL brand. Jerry Jones is the owner, head coach, general manager, director of football operations. He's everything. So it's hard to get a proven head coach in that building to actually want to coach and work with Jerry Jones, because you know what's going to happen. Everything's going to be pointed at you, meaning the coach, and all of the attention is going to get away from who's in control of the roster. Because it ain't a coaching thing, it's a roster thing. And the person that handles the roster is Jerry Jones. So good or bad hire. I mean, the Dallas one's a toss-up. Everybody can go in there and do it.
I think, Tan, I think this is a great comparison. Dallas is the Yankees. Yeah, I felt forever.
The Yankees actually win. The Yankees actually win.
Since when? When are they winning for the Yankees is championships? They ain't won a championship since 2009. Man, they buy a lot of all-stars that don't win at all.
So the Yankees
win. So I'm a Yankees guy now. I'm a Yankees fan, but I get this.
When was the last time that the Cowboys won? How many years ago? 30?
90?
30.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about 90s and 2000s, 2010s. Like that's
16 years for the Yankees is a drought.
Have the Yankees showed up in the World Series?
No.
They have.
Well, yeah, this year they did this year, but did they show up?
Were they in the World Series?
They got a participation trophy,
Good.
Yes, and they got just shellacked.
Was that the first year they were in it in the last 10 years?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, and I'm again bad Yankee. I'm pretty sure that's the first time they've been in it since they won it in 2009.
Great. So here's the question: when was the last time the Cowboys been in the Super Bowl?
They suck. I don't know.
Yeah.
90s.
So again, if you want to talk brand, sure. But if you want to talk franchise, no.
A lot of comparisons on Smoke. They buy a lot of all-stars that haven't won. The Yankees should have won more than that. The last 15 years, what they put in that organization should have produced a World Series, and they ain't got one. It's I get that comparison, but I get what you're saying. It's been longer for Dallas, but they do a lot of the same things and overspending for players that don't produce. They build a lot of.
Which one of the Cowboys players have they paid that they haven't produced?
Dak Prescott.
You got it. Look, listen to me, bro.
Oh, we want to get on Dak. Is he? You're going to? I love to get on how.
Stop it. Cut it out.
Okay.
Knock it off.
Most overpaid dude in NFL.
Great. Okay. So
he's average.
2 years ago, not this year, the year before last, who was the runner-up for the MVP in the NFL?
I don't give a shit.
So what would you constitute?
He had one magical run, great, with all that talent around him. And what did he win when he came in second runner-up? What big games did he win that year?
You just said Dak Prescott has not produced.
He hasn't. What's he won? You just said Dallas hasn't been to the Super Bowl in 30 years. If he's so good, why? I mean, Dallas has all the tools. But good quarterback should have him in the Super Bowl.
Production to me is statistical year to year. When you talk about wins, that's a team goal. That goes on the team. You can't put trash around the man. Dak is not a top.
Great offensive line. He's got CeeDee Lamb. Hey, he had running backs.
Hold tight. You said what offensive line? What kind of offensive line?
One of the better offensive lines in the league the last several years, has not.
No. He's not. He don't have the Troy Aikman line. He don't have the Jalen Hurts offensive line. It's not a great offensive line. He's manufactured a lot of things. And when he plays, go check the numbers.
Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah.
Tell me a big game he's won, and I'll shut up. I'll be quiet when someone can point out a big game Dak Prescott's won in his career.
I can't give you that, right? But with that said, give me a big game that Lamar Jackson's won. Does that mean he's trash? Does that mean he's trash? Give me a big game that Josh Allen has won. Does that mean he's trash?
He takes his teams further.
And you just gave me the answer. So the Yankees. So all you listen. You keep moving the goalpost, but I'm gonna let you keep moving. Get to the next head coach.
I'm not moving. What am I moving?
You're moving the goalpost. But we'll get to the next head coach. Get to the next one.
All right, next head coach. All right, we got on that. Dallas is we obviously agree that Dallas is a shit show, though. We can agree on that.
Throw that in the garbage.
What's going on with the Jets? The Jets GM? You had that?
The Jets head coach, Aaron Glenn. AG, congrats. Well deserved. Putting your time in, just like every other average coach. I'm not calling you average, but everybody else has gotten a chance to lose. Yeah. You can get yours too. I'm not saying he is, but everyone deserves a chance. And he's getting his best chance. Now, the general manager, I don't know much about because he was up against my guy, Trey Brown. Trey Brown is well qualified. This guy's coming from the Denver Broncos. Now, you want to do history on the Broncos? The Broncos last year's draft was pretty good. Last year. But over the last so many years, not so good. Not so good. Not even the front office. If you okayed the draft, the trade for Russell Wilson, you're part of it.
Yeah, you're part of the problem.
You're part of it.
I liked what you said there, though, Smoke, about giving him a new guy, giving him a chance to lose. But what I really like, give someone new a chance to lose. I'm tired of seeing these retreads continually losing. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm sorry, Pete Carroll's, that name excited me 15 years ago. It doesn't really excite me today.
Man, next AARP contract. You got a 3-year deal, like David Culley did. That means that 3 years. Really, it's a 2-year gig until they get the one that they want. He's just there just to stabilize everything, to get everybody thinking about the old Legion of Boom and excitement and competitive Fridays and all that other stuff. Listen, knock it off. Enough.
Hey, Smoke, Glenn T came in. Is that George's son? He said, Smoke telling it like it is. I'm assuming this is some Dallas talk because I know they got some Dallas connections over there in the Teague family.
Hey, man, all I know is listen, the Philadelphia Eagles are saying
Romo. The answer is Romo, Brian. Dak or Romo?
Ooh, same guys.
Okay.
Same guy. Okay. Same guy. Top 10 quarterback when they play. Same guys.
I like it.
Yeah, top 10 guys. Same guy.
Smoke, someone had a question before we get to the next one. I did one. They got mad. They thought we forgot about them. And it's a good one. Smoke. How did you get the name Smoke? Big fan, by the way. Sharpshooter.
Hey, listen, if I can get 500 followers before the show ends, I'll give you the entire story of Smoke. If I get 1,000, I'll give it to the story unfiltered, uncut, and we'll track it. I got my phone right here.
All right, you hear that on Twitter X? Come over on YouTube because we want to let us know. He find Smoke, follow him, like him. Become one of his minions, and he will tell the story.
Smoketeers.
Super Bowl.
Become one of the Smoketeers. We're a movement right now. We're a truth movement. Who's the next coaching carousel that we got? We got somebody.
I heard this, and I was pulling for the Bills last night. I'm a big Allen fan. Yada yada. I don't care, but this Super Bowl's. I think they won the game fair and square, man. I thought Allen had the first down on the 4th, and that may have changed it. But that's a judgment call. I'm not saying that. I didn't think that game was called crazily last night. Maybe I'm.
Efron, if you look over my left shoulder right here, you see my man Marcel. I'm a Bill Mafia guy. Been in the building, signed a contract with the Bills. I'm a Bills Mafia guy. But I'm gonna tell it to you just like this. Not rigged. Here's what happened, okay? The Buffalo Bills, Sean McDermott, traded the rights to Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs for the 10th pick, and that man was Patrick Mahomes. If you felt so ballsy to make the trade to a guy within your conference to get the GOAT, suffer all the consequences of your failures of not going to the Super Bowl. Andy Reid didn't do it to you. You did it to yourself. So there's nothing else. But in replacement, you got Josh. So you live with it. But it's not rigged. You could have had Patrick, but you traded otherwise. Hopefully that was James.
And man,
I was in the room. I was in the room. The trade went down. So sorry.
There you go. You said it, Smoke, all year, man. Like they're wasting Allen. They're getting there almost like the Broncos did with early Elway, where it's just a dude making plays after plays. But you saw last night, heck, even when he threw it up for a prayer, he hit a guy. The tight end just didn't make a play. He don't. His
personnel malpractice.
He doesn't have the talent around him.
Practice. You don't need much. You don't need much.
One marquee receiver.
You don't even need marquee receiver. You just need guys that's better than Mac Hollins. And I love Mac. He's a DMV guy. But if he's your best receiver and you drafted Dalton Kincaid, moved up and got Dalton Kincaid, that catch for half an inch first down, there's no dog in him. You put your head down and go get that first. It's clutch time. That ball is thrown to you and hit you in your chest. Bro, you find a way to catch that because your quarterback getting killed. There's no dog in him. You trade up to go get him. So that's personnel.
Well, and look, I love Amari.
Can I go on for a little bit longer? Give me about 5 seconds. Greg Russo, 50. I ain't seen him show up yesterday. Little Eddie got thrown away, like 91. Your first round pick, Kyer Elam, was fish bait last night. They attacked him. That's your first round pick. Xavier Worthy could have been in your hands. But you traded that to who? Andy Reid again? Andy, listen, for Bills Mafia, whatever Brett Veach's cell number, Kansas City's landline, and Andy Reid's land, block it. No more trades. No more. Done. Stop giving them wins. Knock it off. But that's all I got to say about that. They won't let me in Buffalo no more either.
People, and I even saw people, well, Allen still couldn't get it. Get him some help, and he'll probably get it done. He'll get it done. Put Allen.
You can't have a secondary like that. You can't have a secondary like that. You can't have a secondary that can't play man-to-man at all. Love Hamlin's story. Yeah. Cole Bishop, another second or third round pick. Can't play. Benford, same draft that you got Kyer Elam. Solid player, but if that's your best corner, not against Patrick. Rasul Douglas, solid. Not so much. Kansas City, 4-Pete, man. Forget the 3-Pete.
You don't think the Eagles have a chance? Man, the Eagles are playing good ball, man.
Yeah, Petty, I got $1,000 if you want it. Come get it.
Well, let's flip. I think that's the next thing. Unless you want to talk Dennis Allen at the Bears.
No, Ben Johnson, Chicago Bears.
Oh, is it Ben Johnson? Okay.
Ben Johnson. Dennis is just the DC now.
Okay, yeah, it's DC. I catch you. I'm trying to catch up on.
But here's a couple of things that I'm gonna say, and we can get past it. Ben Johnson has to work with Caleb Williams. Ben Johnson better go in there and get Caleb Johnson's respect, because there's a certain type of coach that can get Caleb's respect. Don't know if that's Ben. Now, I forget who's his quarterback coach, but I got to find out who his quarterback coach is. But if you don't get to Caleb and he respects you, whatever you call it ain't good enough. And that's one of the things with a first-time head coach. You have to have some type of experience or some type of presence when you walk into the locker room for those guys to truly respect you. Yeah, they respect the play calling, but he better come in there with 10 toes down on the ground and not be mumbling under his breath and speak and talk from with your chest. And whatever come with it, take it too. But that's a part of it. Listen, now we got the guy down in Jacksonville. Oh, Petty.
Who's son?
Liam Cohen. He's sitting there screaming Duval. Listen, I got on my old teammate, Coach Campbell, and I was on it. I'm gonna give everyone a chance to lose. Once you start winning, I'll start talking about it. But the expectation is everyone has a chance to lose.
I love that, man. I've never heard it put that way till tonight. I love that, Smoking. I'm giving them a chance to lose.
If they won games, you wouldn't have the coaching carousel. Now the best one is my man, Mike Vrabel. Shout out to Braves, man. What a great job of sitting out a year, knowing that Vrabel was a coach in waiting in New England. Everybody knew that. Contractually, they just had to get Mayo in there, and Mayo said enough to get his tail ran out of town. So Vrabel steps in. You see him start getting the right pieces around him, get that old New England formula back together. Good luck, because Josh Allen still parks in Buffalo, and the best head coach in that division is still Sean McDermott, and Buffalo wins it again. Good luck.
Well, before I get to my not so fast on Smokes, Kansas City's about to walk away with another title because I think it might. I think the Fly Eagles fly might have a little bit of something to say about that. But before we let it fly, let's let that title towel fly. Go to WhitwillSports.com today, and before you head to Coleman Coliseum for that next Bama game, get that title towel. Tell them the promo code STANDARD and get 20% off. And have that title towel in hand before you hit Coleman or before you hit Bryant-Denny or before you hit any of Bama's sporting events, and swing that thing with pride. Look, Whitwill Sports, Whitwill's always in the chat. They are some of the best dudes in the business. They are all Alabama, all Roll Tide, and go give them some Bama love. Go to WhitwillSports.com today. Again, tell them the promo code STANDARD and get you a little bit of a discount. With that said, I'm going to have to say not so fast, Smoke. But one thing I do want to say, what if they gave Josh Allen the tools that Jalen Hurts had? Would you be singing a different tune?
Listen, okay. Let me. Jalen Hurts, my Bama boy, Bama brother, sci-fi for life.
Some people have a problem with that.
Philadelphia has the best team in the NFL, minus the most important position, quarterback.
Yes. Right. He's going to the perfect
situation. He is
situation.
the weak link on that team, and he's the reason why they don't win big games.
Well, here's the thing.
He struggles playing from the pocket. All right, let's just go personnel real quick. He has two Hall of Fame left tackles. Jason Kelce retired 2 years ago. No one even knows that he's not even playing. So whoever plays center, guard, they have two of the best tackles in NFL history playing for him. He don't get touched. You have one of the best running backs combination and the 2,000-yard runner next to you. You have the best skill players in terms of tight end, and receivers. Yeah, why aren't we walking away saying that Philly should be beating Kansas City? And Kansas City got two players, Chris Jones, Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, Travis Kelce looks sloppy, out of shape.
He's old.
He's dropping balls, and he's always looking up in the stands. Enough's enough. I'm a Travis fan. That's my guy. One of the coldest tight ends ever. But it's only two guys. And they're going to beat him. Flat out, they're going to beat him. No chance, no shot.
I say, look, the way you got to – I think this is kind of duh, but you got to shut down Barkley and make Hurts beat you with his arm with Smith and Brown. If you shut down Barkley, I don't think the Eagles can win this game. And they've got the defensive – if Jones is – but, dude, if Barkley gets going, the Eagles are a freaking hell on wheels, man. And Barkley's – look, I don't care who he's playing against. He keeps putting up numbers. They're keying on him. Yeah. Dude looks like he's coming out of a video game with the moves he's making right now.
Go back and watch the film. See how many times he got touched before he was on the second level. Second level's linebacker. He don't get touched. He don't get touched. He got the best offensive line. Enough. Good player. But he's not a guy that Spags got that one. It's over.
But when he gets to that second level, there's plays he's making that most running backs, NFL running backs, are getting tackled, and he's springing it.
80% of NFL running backs can make those moves and score. Stop.
Why are they doing it?
Because they can't get to the second level without getting touched. Most guys get touched at the first level. He's not.
I think Barkley should get the MVP.
Go ahead, man. I'm not going to argue with
you.
you.
Who would you give it to?
Is Barkley a top? No, Josh Allen. Josh Allen. Most valuable player to his team. Like I just told you, Smitty, Brown, Goddard, Johnson, Jordan, Barkley, 2000. Like, come on, stop. Enough.
I see you, man. I'm tired of it always being a quarterback award. I think here's the thing. I think the Eagles are still good without Barkley. I don't think they are where they are today. But then you make the Allen argument. That's like you said. You take him away, and the Bills are trash.
Mac Hollins is their best receiver, and they traded up for Keon Coleman.
However, if the Commanders would have won that game, I'm giving the trophy to Daniels. He gets MVP as a rookie. I don't care. Commanders haven't been there since a guy named Mark Rippon was quarterback. You get to Washington in the Super Bowl, give whoever got them there the damn
I just want to know, who does Josh Allen throw the ball to?
Nobody. Like, look, and Bama fans going to get mad, but Amari Cooper's my age. It's time to go home.
Yeah, Coop don't look. Listen, that's enough. They traded a third-round pick and didn't use the guy that they traded a third-round pick.
And then Coop got up there and like, man, it's too cold for being this old up in
I digress.
Look.
I think we touched on all of the head coach and moving and shaking, man.
We did. I think we hit most of it, except for college. We haven't touched on the college. I know you got to get out of here in a minute. And, man, you win a national title, and all your coaches say, to hell with this. I'm going different places.
Everybody doesn't want to work at Ryan Day? They don't love Ryan? Come on.
So you had a take on this. I was like, why would you leave? And you had an immediate response, Smoke, on why Jim Knowles would go leave the program with all the resources to the one that can't ever beat the one with all the resources.
You got to hate somebody to do something like that, don't you?
How bad do you not like to do your playbook? To go to the guy that you always beat? Like, I'll just go to the loser's side. Hell with this.
I'm not. You don't have to have any type of background information or any scoop. He's getting $3 million, but I'm telling you, Buckeye Land can pony up whatever they want. If they can pay a player $1 or $2 million, they can pay one of the best defensive minds in college football. And when I say a solid guy, a great individual, he's an awesome person. I could never, even if I want to say something bad about Coach Knowles, would never do it. I remember when, as a young coach, I used to go down to Duke and visit with DJ, Derek Jones, and Coach Knowles would bring me by and we'll sit down and he would spend hours with me. And I was a nobody, nothing good dude. No matter who you were,
Derek,
who you are. Come on, man. I know DJ. At one point, I was a solid DB coach. And we used to sit there in clinic. DJ, my dude, man. Fan of the Cheetah Club. Yeah. Come on.
That's cool, man. That's cool. I didn't know you had the connection with Knowles, too, going down and learning from him. That's pretty good stuff right there.
We used to go down there and clinic on, I used to go down, we used to go down as the Citadel staff, clinic them on option offense, option defense, because what Paul Johnson was doing to him.
Yeah.
When he first got down there at Georgia Tech. So that's what we used to do.
Okay, cool. Well, man, so that's the deal. I know Ryan Day looks like the evil enemy in a cartoon with his dyed beard. He kind of looks like
Never trust a man with a dyed beard.
Never trust. Is that it? You just can't trust a man with a dyed beard?
Can't trust him. Black self-awareness. Black self-awareness. Listen, Petty, I got gray, right? I don't want to look young. I want young people to look at me like, man, that's an old man. I don't want to be bothered with him. So they don't run up on
some wisdom.
Man, when you run up on a dude, beard, I'm talking about my hair is jet black. My man is that charcoal, perfect. Just I don't know what Beijing shade he got or what the Fat Joe boxer he put on his face, but they need to have a Ryan Day color moving forward after winning the national championship. But I mean, both his coordinators said, "I'm getting up out of here." He's gonna have to find
now. Chip Kelly's like, "All right, I didn't want to coach. I didn't want to be a head coach in college. Now I don't even want to be an offensive coordinator at a job that they just give me the best players to work at. I'll just go on to the pros."
Hey, man, they said where he's going, to H-Town?
Yeah, he's going to Houston, isn't he? With your boy?
Yeah, he's going to D'Amico.
D'Amico, that's a great hire, actually. I think, Chip, man, I
disagree.
Why? Tell me.
Why?
Huh?
Well, ask anyone that played for the Philadelphia Eagles what their stance is on Chip Kelly as a coach and how he treats individuals that look a certain way.
Oh, see, this is why I'll give my fans pride, and then you'll say something like that.
You got to ask guys like D-Jack, Shady. I spent a lot of time with Shady, and my old Spade partner, Jason Peters. Ask them their true opinion on Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly is the guy that traded Shady for Kiko Alonso, straight up. And Miko, that's what you choose to bring in your building? Nasty work. But hey, listen, CJ Stroud might win the MVP next year.
So every coach with the last name of Kelly is just a scum. Noted. Good to know. Great.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying from what I've heard from people that was in the building, has worked with him, and has coached, I've never heard anything good from people that I know, especially that was in the Philadelphia Eagles locker room building. Wasn't good.
We didn't stay there long, so then there you go.
Listen, I remember I text one of my buddies was a really, really good friend. And he's a really good big fan of the San Francisco 49ers at that point. So I was in, where we at? My boy Junior's wedding in St. Croix. And my man John said, he's a big fan, said, they were going on nuts about Chip Kelly because Chip was just got out to San Fran. And I said, I got a few guys that they don't say nothing good about him. I text my guy, Shady. Thoughts on Chip? He wrote 3 words. 3 letters. KKK. And that was it.
How do you make it in this industry in the day? I don't even know how you could make it.
Hey, that's for another show, another time.
Another day. We're just going to, because that's just stupid. That's just dumb as shit. Like, the hell with that guy.
Hey, man, I'm not saying it. I'm just telling you what I heard. Keep
going. I'll be the bad guy for you on this smoke, man. To hell with that guy.
He just got hurt.
Herb and Raj, do you think Ward or Sanders are franchise QBs? No. I can give a quick answer and then let smoke. Nope.
No. I think they're good. I think the ceiling for both of those guys, Dak Prescott. And Dak's not Dak, and I think Dak is a solid to a good NFL quarterback, just not elite.
Who do you think the best quarterback prospect is in this draft class?
Shador's the safest. Cam has the highest ceiling. So all depending on what you want. If you want to go safe, you want a guy to get the ball out of his hand, read the defense, quick pass game, not going to do anything to wow you, Shador. If you want a wild card, you got to have a bunch of help. It's just like Dak. You have to have a bunch of pieces around them to make it work. Just like Jalen Hurts, a bunch of pieces to make that work. They're not Jackson, they're not Allen, they're not Joe Burrow, and they're not Patrick Mahomes. Those guys separate themselves because whatever you put around them, they'll make it shake until they meet one of the others that I just said. If Joe meets Josh and Joe has better players, Joe wins.
Joe's great.
Now, there's only one wild card. When Patrick chooses any of them, Patrick beats them all.
Well, man, and I hate because I'm gonna catch some bullets for this, but the name that's shooting up the charts, and I'm reading this from the NFL, is Dart. Dart seems to be getting more.
That's good.
The fear is because Lane's offense, it's not an NFL offense, so you throw to air a lot, and they worry about that with the quarterback.
I don't think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. I don't. But every year the NFL they do this. They take one of the black quarterbacks and destroy his character and pull him all the way down. And they take one Caucasian quarterback and take him and shoot him up. Why do they do that? I don't know. They shouldn't. They should just jump off film. And I'm not saying that's what's happening right now.
Black ones have they done that too recently? I feel like there's been more propping lately because the fear of catching hell. Because I mean, you'll get Anthony Richardson didn't deserve it.
Well,
and just call me out. This is I'm asking.
No. Here's what I'm gonna say. Pay me no mind, and just in the next few months, let's just start reading.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you see Jackson. They tried to do it with Drew Allard, and they're trying to do it with Jackson Dart.
They're doing it with Dart now,
and it's gonna. Jackson's at the Senior Bowl, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. We all know about publicity, marketing. If you don't have someone there that you're marketing, especially at the quarterback position, who wants to watch it? So you just got to be aware. And I'm not saying that he's not good, but you have to be aware of the agenda that's being put out there that a lot of people didn't see on film. And I'm not saying the kid's not good.
Yeah, no, and I'll be honest. I think this week is you talked about Jalen not going. This is a crash or burn moment because, look, the knock on Kiffin is his quarterbacks. His offenses are so sophisticated. Most of his quarterbacks are throwing to open air. They're not throwing to windows like you have to in the NFL. And this week, they're going to force
you have to be able to do this. You have to be able to
they're going to force the kid to throw into windows and throw in an NFL offense. He'll get to prove it.
Check it out. What Andy Reid did yesterday to Sean McDermott, that coaching staff, and I think Sean McDermott and Bobby Babbage, outstanding defensive minds. Joe Brady, offensive mind, outstanding. But Spags threw about 5 to 10 looks at Josh yesterday that he's never seen on film. And when he threw it at him, remember that fourth down, that blitz, never seen it. Never seen that look. Got him. Those 3 red zone looks that he gave Greg Rousseau, Greg's still looking around. Man, what? Tackle pull? I've never seen that before. They've never seen left tackle pull. They've never seen that on goal line with boot action. Oh my God, he's looking the wrong shoulder that go inside. Patrick outside.
Oh man, that defensive end got them. He couldn't contain. Yeah, it
was. Listen, Petty. He was in no man's land in no win situation. The way that he was taught to take on a pull far or near is how he handled it. The linebacker didn't come outside fast enough. Shout out Matt Milano. This is something that they've never seen before. So if you've never practiced against it, as a football player, you're wired to see, hey, listen, I've seen this look 500 times. This is what they're going to do is red zone. And you playing on tendencies. And when those tendencies are off, that's what it is.
Trainwreck, who I assume looks like the pimp version of Dave Chappelle, said Smoke is Bama's version of Dan Orlovsky. Orlovsky. I can't even read.
Dan Orlovsky.
Orlovsky. Who the hell is that name? King of bad takes.
Dan Orlovsky is he played for the Detroit Lions. He stepped out of bounds on the back of the goal line, man. That's how you remember it. But a sharp mind. Petty, we got a couple more questions. I got to take off.
Sheridan VROC, critical position that requires that. This is from Brian Watson. That requires the best use of our talent to the fullest. Should we go target someone else?
You know what? I get paid pretty handsomely for my intellect, and I do believe that you should. There's a lot of names out there, but I mean, your head coach is an offensive coach. He knows what he wants to run. He just has to get somebody to run what he wants and just put his foot down and say, this is what I want. This is how I want to call it. This is how I want to look and get that done. You don't have to go get somebody to create something new if your head coach knows what he wants his team to look like.
Last question. Kyle. Oh, my bad, Justin. You got this. I'm stopping now. Kyle, where do y'all predict Milroe will go? And I'm going to add to that, what round?
First round. Here's a concerning thing about Jalen Milroe that I
find. Go ahead.
I wouldn't see a team like the Cleveland Browns, a quarterback needy team. And you know what? This is a good subject for next week. We should go ahead and let them hold off on that. We'll say first round. And let's tell him to come back next week while we get closer to this draft teaser to get him coming back.
Come back next week, and that will be a topic. Milroe in the draft.
Follow Smoke on Coach.
How many did we get?
We ain't get there yet, so you don't get the smoke. You don't get the story till next week.
All right, man. Sharp Podcast. Get your people out following Smoke, and you'll get the story next week on why his name is Smoke.
And also like and subscribe to the
Bama Standard.
There it is. And come on back.
Follow us on the opening kick. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 Central with the flagship, the Bama Standard, with my man Justin Riley, my man Smoke Dixon. We got, I'm sure Marvin's going to be there. Stephen Smith, the man with all the knowledge. Steve Brown. I don't want to go too far, but man, unanswered. Say a little prayer to our man Steve Brown and his family right now, please.
Love
please.
you, dog.
If you're a fan of this show or this network, that you know who Steve Brown is, he's on the flagship tomorrow. He had a family tragedy that I don't know if I'm at liberty. I'm not going to go to details, but just know it's horrible. And know Steve's a great guy, one of the best in the business. Just say a prayer for Steve and all of his family right now, who needs it more than anybody knows. And just send them up for that guy right now. Their family needs some love from the big guy and some healing. With that said, check them out tomorrow, 6 Central. Then at 8 Central, we got the final whistle with me, Matt Caddell. Chris James talks a lot. However, he naps a lot now.
TA, talk a lot.
He went from TA to naps, talks a lot to naps a lot. We got to get that boy some Red Bull. And then his brother, Dan James. So we got and then Lushawn Graves. And then Ty Hayes. That's Tuesday night. Then Wednesday night, flip over. We got Cici on the Crimson Dynasty at 6:30, followed up by the man George Teague at 8:15, doing Teague's Take. And then Thursday night, going hard in the paint, talking Bama basketball with me, Herb, and JT, 7:30. And then Sunday night, talking Bama. And then next week, we flip it back over. Come back, see Smoke. We're going to talk a little bit of Milroe. Maybe if we get enough followers, Smoke will tell you a story about his nickname.
And you missed my guess right there. Justin said he wanted you to say it.
Oh crap! I didn't. Hold on. Who?
Nah, you didn't miss it. You was just going so smooth. I didn't want to cut you off.
Dude, I bumbled that a lot lately because there's so many shows and I forget names. I'm an idiot.
Good.
That was my weirdest resuscitation of all the. But we got Rock Montgomery coming on tomorrow. Current
O-line man, big boy.
Dude, get it done. Look, man, if you're not watching the Bama Standard, the flagship with Smoke and the main man, Justin, every week they have just freaking awesome guests on. Don't miss it. Be here tomorrow night. Hit that like and subscribe and you won't miss it. See you next time. Peace, Smoke.
Be good brother.
Yes, sir.